vanguard party means that one, there is a mass-based political.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us once again on another episode of our CPK Online Bulletin. My name is Sefusani and I will be your host throughout the program. And today we have a very interesting visitor in the studio. He is our Central Committee Secretary for Mass Mobilization, Mr. GACHEKE Gachihi. Karibu sana kwa studio, GACHEKE.
Asante sana, nashukuru sana kwa CPK Bulletin.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we're very glad to have you. And I know I've said your name, but maybe just you can give us your brief introduction and your role in the Central Committee.
My name is GACHEKE Gachihi. I'm a Secretary of Mass Mobilization of Communist Party of Kenya. As you know, our party is a party of the masses. It's a vanguard party that is linked to the masses.
Yes.
And a key priority that we give as a party in political education is to link the party with the masses. And that's why I'm also a coordinator of Mombasa Social Justice Center, which is part of linking the struggle of the masses, the struggle of mass mobilization with the struggling working class in the informal settlement and also in other areas in Nairobi.
Thank you very much, GACHEKE, for debunking that issue. Yeah. And I think that would lead me to my second question, where I was going to ask you, in the Communist Party of Kenya, what does it mean when we say that you're the Secretary of Mass Mobilization? What exactly do you have to do as the Secretary of Mass Mobilization? Maybe you can give us a step-by-step of the activities that you have to undertake, the places that probably you have to go, and what does it do for the party?
The Secretary of Mass Mobilization, first of all, you know, our party is anchored on best unity is a cell. So that's where we start with. It start with political education. Political education that span some months to make sure that people have a clarity of ideological theory and the practice. So my role mostly is to help to organize the cells to link the theory and practice. And I'm based in Madare, where we have Sankara political cell that do political studies, and at the same time we have mass campaigns about human rights violation. And also we protest against the issue of like land grabbing. Recently we had some protests on Sabasaba. Our colleagues also have participated on a lot of protests on issues relating to corruption. That's part of mass mobilization that is linked to the political program of the party. And I think personally as a Secretary of Mass Mobilization is to make sure that we link different kind of campaign, different kind of the political program, whether it's a political education, mass mobilization, protest, mass protest. All these are anchored around theory and struggle of building political party as a mass-based political party. And that's why we have that post of Secretary of Mass Mobilization. Because
thank you very much, GACHEKE.
Yeah.
And when we talk about the Communist Party of Kenya, one of the things that the Communist Party of Kenya prides itself or anchors itself in is the political ideology or the awakening of the conscience of the masses in regards to the revolution or the socialism and communism that they want to attain in the society. Kindly or briefly explain to us, what does it mean for the party to be called a vanguard party, for those who may not understand that term?
Yeah, a very fundamental question for Communist Party of Kenya. Vanguard party means that one, this is a mass-based political party, but then it is led by a vanguard. The structure of our party has a way that we have a central committee that its leadership, its cadre development start from the cell, then it's go up to the highest level of the central committee. And the central committee, what we see is as a vanguard, is like a spear. The more you have a revolutionary clarity, skills, experience, is how you rise and become a member of vanguard. So it's like a spear that that's in the sharpest point where it faces and it pulls the masses. That's the Central Committee. When you say a vanguard party is a revolutionary instrument that is organized around the masses, but you have a leadership that rise through experience to become the leadership of the party.
So meaning that this revolution is actually informed by theory, that there's a basis to it, and it's not something haphazard, or it's not involved in adventurism. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it's not adventurous. It's through the study of the real scientific study of Karl Marx and Lenin, Mao theory, that for us to have a revolutionary path that is led with the masses, we must have that vanguard party that leads a mass is a vanguard party that's linked to the masses.
So just explain in layman's term, in a way that a person who is watching us at home and who is not a communist or a socialist would be able to understand. What is the difference between the vanguard and the masses who are not part of the vanguard?
Yeah, you see the development of mass movement. It's critical for the party, and when we say a vanguard party, means that it's not one person. It is somebody who has gone through a study of revolutionary theory, and who believe in a class struggle, and he sees the society through class analysis. So when we say, when we say that, is that if we have a branch in Mathare, that or you have a movement within Mathare or in the country, that we say the cadres of the party are spread within the masses, and that's why we say our loyalty to the masses. So is that everywhere our party has a basic unit, there must be a cadre.
So what you're trying to say is that the party, the Communist Party of Kenya, is powered by the masses.
Yes.
But in each place where we have the masses, then we need to have some sort of leader who has this theory, experience to be able to lead the masses in the right path, especially when we're talking about, political issues or leading in such stuff. That's
powerful,
very good.
Powerful.
And in what ways do you think the party can employ measures to ensure, that we have a mass enjoining of members into the party?
First, the history of Kenya has been a history of betrayal and setback. Communist Party of Kenya, it registered in 2019 as a Communist Party of Kenya, a change of our name. So in East Africa, I have a history as a pioneer, as a great struggle to register a Communist Party of Kenya. Politics in Kenya is organized through ethnic politics, mobilization. We have big problem of not having ideological political party. It's only our party that has not the same manifesto. All the other political party is copy paste. When you look to Jubilee, whether it's ODM or the other parties, they have photocopied each other manifesto. But you find Communist Party of Kenya has its own ideological clarity, document, literature that speak about their history. So to make sure that we have members of this country join our working class join our party, first of all is to encourage them through reading and also giving them our history, showing that our commitment, our sacrifice, our values in patriotism in this country. I think that's first of all very important, so that they can realize that there's difference between bourgeois political party that have been looting, exploiting them, undermining our democratic gains that we have made since 1992. So I think one important is, and our chairman, our leadership has always been very clear that where we are is through sacrifice. And that's very much important for people to know that where we are, and even this small democratic gain that we have has become through major sacrifices. So through that, we'll inspire people to join the party, and also showing them that there is no other alternative, only having a revolutionary path to overturn this dictatorship of bourgeois that has really robbed us our humanity and has continued to create poverty and social injustices. And you can see our country now, Our people are becoming poor and poor every day. So this model of economy has failed completely, and there is need of a new alternative. And Communist Party of Kenya, as we say,
is the alternative.
Now
that you brought about the issue of the economy, there's been a lot of talks about the bottom-up economy.
Yeah.
Do you think this subscribes to the communist ideals, and what would you say about that?
Very powerful question, and very, very interesting, especially during now the ethnic barons and elites are mobilizing around bottom up. This is what you can call as a Communist Party of Kenya and a Secretary of Mass Mobilization is forced consciousness. What they are trying to call it a hustler or a bottom up is forced consciousness.
Yes.
It's hijacking the narrative of people who are demanding that we need to change, and realizing that they are bankrupt of idea. What they are trying to do is to look to legitimize themselves to the masses by using populist statements that are not anchored in any theory.
So you don't think that the bottom-up economy is the way to go when we're talking about proletariat, the proletariat and the workers and the oppressed and exploited, and it does not succumb to the communist ideals?
I don't think the bottom-up economy, it is forced conscious. It's not even articulated. We don't know even their theory. They're just saying bottom-up is vague. So for us as a communist, we have a very clear analysis of what is political economy.
Some people have linked the Communist Party of Kenya or communism to the hustler politics that is happening around the country. I'm sure you've heard of the politics of the hustler nation, and the politicians who are coming to now say that they're the ones who stand for the workers and who stand for the oppressed and the exploited. Would you say that, one, this is the politics of the Communist Party of Kenya? And if not, what is the difference between the communists and these hustlers who are now coming in to say that they stand for the workers and the proletariat?
First of all, these are political hyenas because they don't believe in any ideological clarity about supporting the people. And our politics are very far away from there. Reading our chairman paper developed by the Communist Party, the thinking outside the box.
Yes.
Our documents analyze very well our history, and saying that the capitalist media, the bourgeois media, has been putting these figures every time in the newspaper and showing that these are the leaders that they need to be voted in. So answering your question, that we are very clear on what is our political model.
Yes.
And our political model and our minimum program for political economic reform is through cooperative movement, mobilizing people through saving, issues of land reform, making sure that not few people are controlling land, fighting privatizations. See, today there's our healthcare system is collapsed. We have a major problem with this education. So all these education, healthcare, articulation about this should not be in private hand, private capital. So what you're saying that the articulation of bottom-up economy or hustler politics is not articulated, is false consciousness.
So what you're saying is that these politicians are actually bourgeois politicians who are using this narrative to be able to hoodwink the masses that they're fighting for them. Well, in actual sense, they're only fighting for themselves. Now that we've spoken about the politics of Kenya, I would like to go to the international front, where we see a lot of the countries in the West. I can use the United States of America, for example. They use the leftist ideology, or they call themselves leftists. But we also see that the communists or the socialists refer to themselves as leftists or the far left. Would you say that the politics of we who refer to ourselves as the far left and those who refer to themselves as the left, for example, in the United States, the Democratic Party refers to themselves as the left? Do you think that we practice the same type of politics? And if not, where does the difference come in?
Very powerful question, especially relating to international politics. You know, there is a major crisis. That's why the election in the United States had those kind of terms that Bernie Sanders and Democratic candidates is being seen as a left candidate. But this is because the crisis that is facing the United States at the moment, the crisis of economy. You had a Trump that who came in with the right-wing policies, and he had the way he was organizing his politics was the politics of trying to say that they don't need other people, they need to make America again. And let's tell you the crisis that the capitalism is going through. So for many years, they had said that there's a guy in America called Milton Friedman who had said that the end of history the world had reached end of the history, and the era of communism, socialism, alternative vision, model of economy had ended. That was 90s, and now that's when the free market economy, liberal democracy, and this is when the wave of multi-party came in Kenya, 1990, liberal democratic parties that they emerged. So that time, everyone was swept away and saying that the direction is this. So what is happening now in the United States after 30 years of free market economy, liberal democracy, the economy has left millions of people behind. So people are asking now, are we wrong? So what America has been practicing is what they call social democracy. The bit they give, they give a bit of their people subsidy to farming, to their industry, but they preach against that to a developing country. So what they use the term left is not correct. It's just trying to sanitize themselves when they are doing really raw capitalism of exploitation, not on their people mostly, but especially the big companies, but where the U.S. Commercial interest is. So they push free market, exploitation of labor, but when they go back to their country, and that's why they have a problem that they transported all their company back to China, where they say that they is possible to.
So the left that they're referring to is not the same left that
that they
subscribe to.
They don't have the political line that we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, our viewers, and on our copy this September of Itikadi, which is a magazine by the Communist Party of Kenya that highlights most of the issues that you had here today. Get your copy at only 500 shillings for the soft copy and 1,000 shillings for the hard copy from our offices at the Communist Party of Kenya. Or you can follow us on our handles on social media. On Twitter, we are at Communist KE, and on Facebook at Communist Party of Kenya, and on WhatsApp as well. Thank you so much. So we'll continue our interview with Mr. Gacheke with the 3 last questions. Gacheke, what are the challenges that you face in your role of mass mobilization of the Communist Party of Kenya?
First of all, our party is not those political party in Kenya that is funded by the government, and this is very bad. That we have a law that limits funding of parties like Communist Party that has a very critical role to play in advancing our democracy. So we have a major problem about resources. How do you fund our political program? Our party membership base is very small, so we still trying to strengthen it and make so members can make contribution to build the party. That's our very major challenges. Also, establishing strong branches is another challenge. It's part of the resources. Also, we have a predatory state regime that is always curtailing our freedom to organize, to protest. Our members of the Communist Party at the moment are facing malicious charges in
Kibera
law courts. We have comrade organizing secretary Bukangesa, who is also facing malicious judgment against
corruption of NGCDF, the case that is
so those are major challenges, especially for mass mobilization, so that you have laws that are curtailing our mass work. or you have a judiciary, or you have a police that is very, very hostile to our political.
How do you go about these challenges, very briefly?
How do you go about these challenges?
I mean, what are some of the solutions, if any, that you think, we could undertake so that some of these challenges, for example, the hostility towards the police, do we work with them? Do we bring them closer? Do we need more democratic reforms such that the government gives money to all political parties in the country and not just the bourgeois or the leading political parties? What do you think could be undertaken for us to sort this issue?
First of all, this is a struggle, because I don't think the bourgeois state, the way it is a neo-colonial state, the way it is structured, can give in, because they enjoy these privileges. They use violence to close democratic spaces. So I think what we need to continue to do is to build alliances, also with the liberal political parties that are fighting for democratic space, link our party with the cooperative movements and more and other traditional allies that and a trade union movement, mass organization, community organization that are trying to push democratic struggle. So yes, that we have to build those alliances so that we can have a powerful, formidable social force that it can push for a democratic change.
Speaking about community-based organizations, I think those are very good solutions, Gacheke, that you've given. You also spoke about your role as an organizer in Mathare and your involvement in Mathare Social Justice Center. I'm aware that you run a study circle in Mathare known as Sankara, of course, which is one of the basic units of the party. What has that been like for you, and what activities have you undertaken in Mathare as an organizer, as a member of the Social Justice Center, as the person running the Sankara study cells? What are some of the activities that you've been able to, to undertake in the run-up to this?
First of all, we have the study cell that we have been reading about community organizing, the role of the people in a democratic struggle. So as a key leader there and as a cadre in the Mathare Social Justice Center and the Communist Party of Kenya, we've been mobilizing the masses, especially to show them the brutality of the neo-colonial state and poverty, and show them that the condition that they are going through, the indignity, the hopelessness, the lack of water, lack of health care, lack of school is part of the crisis of capitalism. That's we have done through our study cell. Also, we organize protest marches against police brutality. We are documenting cases of extrajudicial killing. There are huge problem in Kenya, especially in the former settlement, on enforced disappearance. And this when you look to our document, it is articulated very well. When you have a state, a colonial state, there is no unemployment, there is a crisis of education, healthcare, and a huge population of young people, and you don't have anything for them. And then there is always this kind of crisis of fascism, where the state use violence to doing cleansing of young people. So what you've been doing there is try to spark a conversation through political education and building a mass movement that is linked to Mathare Social Justice Center and the CPK as a political party, as a vanguard. So it is a struggle, but we say that this struggle we inherited from our freedom fighters, from those people who fought for second liberation. It's our generation to take this struggle to the second level. We've been favored by history. Now we have a political instrument called Communist Party of Kenya. For many years we didn't have a party with a clarity. Now we have a party with a clarity. So it is an opportunity for our generation to strengthen our party structure in Mathare and link it with the working class. And that's our role as a cadres of the Communist Party of Kenya.
Thank you so much, Gacheke. And to my final question, as one of the outstanding members of the Communist Party of Kenya from its history, and you've been here for a long period of time, and now you're also involved in the working committee at the headquarters. How has the experience been for you so far?
In the working committee?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all is that what is very inspiring, the working committee is very vibrant. having a comrade like Safe there and others, young women who are really inspiring us with the songs. It is so vibrant, and it is giving us a revolutionary soul. That's what we were missing for a long time in the party. Now the singing, the political education, reading together. Yeah, I really enjoyed the working committee, although now it's coming to the end after 6 months, but it has been very, very great. And I say our party, if we continue with that kind of political program, will be able to reach more masses and develop cadres that can be able to lead us to the next national democratic revolution that will liberate this country. So it has been exciting, and it has been an opportunity to learn also from comrades who are younger and have come with a lot of experience, energy and hope. So I'm so happy that I was given an opportunity to be in the working committee and serve in the headquarters.
Thank you so much, Gacheke, for availing your time to have this interview with us.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been GACHEKE Gachihi, who is the Secretary of Mass Mobilization in the Central Committee. He also organizes in Mathare and is a member of the current working committee in the national headquarters. Thank you for joining us for today's interview. Kindly like, share, subscribe, and comment in case you have any questions, and we'll be sure to respond to you. Have a great evening, and from the headquarters, it's bye-bye.
Bye.